All right, this meeting is called to order. This is the August 11th, 2026 Mayor and Council meeting. Would the clerk please read the statement of compliance?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 having been duly advertised and posted in the municipal building in compliance with NJSA 10:4-8D. The meeting will adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless a majority of the council members present vote to extend the time.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Would Ed McDermott Jr. please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Let's also remember Lieutenant James John Gall Jr. He was a member of the Oakland Police Department. He passed away recently. He was retired. Thank you. Be seated. All right, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Mayor Kamala,
Present.
Council President Talamini,
Here.
Councilman Duffert,
Here.
Councilman Eilert,
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli,
Here.
Councilwoman Rose,
Here.
Councilman Saliani.
Here. All right, we have a special occasion today. We are swearing in a new firefighter. If you recall, last month we swore in Ed McDermott Sr. At this time, we're going to ask Ed to come forward with his son, Ed McDermott V, correct? This is Ed V. Ed is going to be joining the volunteer fire department. Ed also graduated high school, served 4 years in the Army. He has since completed his Army service, and he's currently active in the National Guard. So let's give Ed a There you go, Dad.
Which way one bit?
All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
I, Ed McDermott V,
I, Ed McDermott V,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments established in the United States
and the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for your service.
All right, we can take a quick 1-minute recess. I know there's a lot of firefighters that, unless you want to hang out for the meeting, you're welcome to. If not, go home. So we're up to the mayor's report. A couple items. Number one, paving. As many people know, on the Dogwood section, they just, Lennar, the property owner with the condos back there, just completed paving of McCoy Road. That was at no cost to the taxpayer. That was paid for by the developer. And we were able to convince them to pave all the way up to the Franklin Lakes corporate line. So if you go up there, you'll notice that all the paving is complete on the Oakland side, but when you get to Franklin Lakes, it's only half, and there's patches in there. So they did right by Oakland by, well, we kind of worked with them to make sure they did that. All right, Oakland's 2026 road program. The following roads are going to be paved. Currently, they're working on, they started the concrete work. We're going to be working on it this week and next week. The following areas are going to be paved. The walking path along the Dogwood School for the people with children. There's a walking path between Dogwood and Manitou. That's going to be repaved. That has not been done for 20 years. Harvard Way is going to be repaved. Roosevelt Boulevard from First Street to Truman Soccer Field parking lot is going to be paved. The Veterans Park driveway. West Oakland Ave, where we did all the water main work, that's going to be paved all the way to the Pompton Lakes line, where the water main work was done. Acorn is also going to be paved curb to curb, Stony Point Road, Cheyenne Court, Seneca Avenue, Massasoit Trail, Cayuga Drive, Tuscarora Drive, Barbara Lane, Winter Street, and Maple Drive. We're also expecting the county to be paving West Oakland Ave from the McDonald's light all the way to Skyline Drive. It's probably going to be happening later, either late summer, sometime in the spring, but that's going to be paid for by the county. I know there's a problem. Several residents have contacted about the Iroquois and Andrew ponding situation. There's a collapsed storm drain in that area. DPW is out there on a regular basis pumping out the street. We're currently working with our DPW and our engineer. They have to replace a 20-foot section of pipe, okay? And I know that residents are concerned because we just did a lot of paving up there. The good news is we do not have to dig up the road. It's all going to be, all the work is going to be done off the road on a person's property. So that's work is pending. Should probably take 3 to 4 weeks. Also want to congratulate the students who took place in the Junior Police Academy graduation. I'm sure Mr. Saliani is going to have something to say about that. Streetscape, as you know, this governing body's been working on the streetscape for the downtown area from the railroad track all the way up to Oak Street. Our engineers have been working on design criteria as we speak. We hope to have a presentation sometime in either September or October to the governing body for input from the residents of the governing body as we move forward through this process. The drugstore, I know I've talked a couple times about the drugstore. At this time, the drugstore, they ran into an issue with the roof. They're working through engineering issues. Once that's done, plans should be submitted. I said last month, but they're shooting for the end of this month. Let's see what happens. Once the plans get submitted, we'll start seeing that the Oakland Drugs property get rehabilitated into the new Hackensack Health. As far as garbage, I know a lot of people have been stickered. There's a lot of pain here in town concerning the garbage can size. But the DPW has gone around. They have stickered the cans. And the last day to use cans over 45 will be August 14th. Then you have to have a smaller can. And the DPW is selling them at a discount rate of $20 per can, if anybody's interested. And with that, that concludes my report. At this time, I invited the affordable housing attorney, Mr. Brian Giblin, at the end of the dais. As you know, Oakland is facing a lot of challenges with all this affordable housing with the McBride property behind the hardware store and also up behind the high school. I thought it was only appropriate to have Mr. Giblin come here today so that he can give us and the public an update on where we are with the affordable housing. I yield to you, Mr. Giblin.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate the opportunity to update the council and the public as to what the status is. As I'm sure the council and most of the public are aware, after we filed our declaratory judgment action seeking immunity from affordable housing litigation, there were 4 challenges, 3 by developers and 1 by Fair Share Housing Center, leaving aside Fair Share because they're not going to settle until all the other developers settle. We have 3. We have McBride, Leone, and Roper. Going in the order, McBride is a site that the mayor and council adopted zoning that they had requested. The only issue in that case, and the only reason we haven't reached a settlement with them, is because the mayor and council would not permit access from Page Drive. They subsequently filed a motion and went to court before Judge Carsten, who is handling the case, and Judge Carsten said that that decision has to be made by the planning board. So they can make an application to develop the site. They can have Page Road as a proposed means of ingress and egress, but the planning board is going to have to approve that after the engineering testimony goes in. So we'll have to leave that to them. The Leone site, we met with their professionals on a couple of occasions. We were advised that the Leone site is essentially a mirror image of the Lennar site, which is just next door. However, they're requesting some zoning changes to make some minor modifications to the zoning at the Lennar site. So we've been going through that with the borough's professionals to see why those changes are necessary, and so far, most of them have been necessary. Again, they're minor in nature, and it's because of the different topography on the site that requires it. And last is the Roper site. This was an approval from the third round, was approved, I believe, in 2018. In the last round, we're now in the fourth round. And the only thing that's stopping them from developing the site right now is that they don't have sewage. It was supposed to have been taken care of by the Northwest Sewer Authority. They have not put in the infrastructure to this point. We've had communications with them. We recently had a meeting with the NJDEP to find out where we could get excess sewage capacity, not only for that site, but for some other existing sites in the downtown area. And they were looking for some additional information. Our engineers are providing that, and we will get together with them again and try and work that out so that we can provide sewage again, not just for the Roper site to be built, but also for some existing properties that don't have sewage now. And the next time we'll be in court is September 15th in front of Judge Carsten.
Thank you. Does anybody from the council have any questions for affordable housing attorney at this time? If you could just stay here till after open to the public in case the residents have any questions. At this time, do I have a motion to open to public?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to address the governing body?
Hello. My name is Joan Scheck. My address is 18 Crosby Lane. Tonight, I am here on behalf of the Oakland First Aid Squad. I have some things I'd like to bring to the attention of the council, of the town, a frustration that we've been having. We typically in the past have adopted, maybe, borough vehicles, police cars that have been retired from service. Part of the problem with that has been that they were retired for a good reason. The cost of maintenance is high. They are not reliable. Things you don't want in an emergency vehicle. So we decided to use squad funds given by our generous donors in town to purchase a new vehicle that had a warranty. And the best way for us to purchase it was through a municipal, somebody's gonna help me with the word here, co-op. And part of the rules of those co-ops is that it has to be registered to the town. I believe it's for a year. I didn't participate in this purchase, but it's usually for a year. The town has to have it licensed to them for a year. We bought that vehicle in, I think the beginning of 2024 was when it was finally paid for. And then it was, probably due to our fault as much as anybody else's last year, we never bothered getting that transferred. I'm kind of a detailed person accountant type. So I decided when I became chief, which was the beginning of this year, I would see to it that that title would be transferred because it's a little bit problematic. I mean, theoretically, the town could sell it or repaint it as a police car if they so desired at this point, which is really not what we're in the business to do. We're 501c3 with our mission. Our mission is to provide first aid care, not to buy vehicles for Oakland. So, you know, we have a great deal of trust in the town, but on the other hand, like I said, I'm a detail person. I want to see stuff buttoned up. I'm sure you can appreciate that as an attorney. You don't just leave it, even if you trust the individuals. And so this year, around February or March, I began speaking to people. People in Borough Hall have been very responsive, very on top of things. It seems to be stalling with the attorney. At first, I was told that they needed to go to the attorney to find out how to transfer it. And then I kept calling and asking, and then I heard that we were waiting to have the resolution. I may be a detail person, I'm not a word person. Have that written for the council to vote on. And that was sort of the end of June. I was very disappointed to see it not show up on the July agenda. And then I happened to run into Wendy, and she was on top of it. She said to me, it should be on this agenda. We're still waiting for the wording. And then the agenda came out, and it wasn't there. And I have questions at this point about why that's so complicated and why is this taking so long? Because we've done this numerous times in the past, granted with old junky cars, but we have done this. Nobody's had an issue doing it. And in any case, I was hoping, possibly tonight if it's a simple thing, that maybe Mr. Gilson would be able to come up with something that could be voted on. And if not, or if it's not just going to be a straightforward transfer of title for the vehicle that we paid for, and there's something else they're trying to get written in there, I would like the opportunity to speak to them, and I will provide you with my contact information after this. And that's pretty much all I have to say. We need to get this moving. We need to get this done, because if the year ends without me getting it done, I'm going to be very sad. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Danny Delia, 7 Fordham Road. A couple things tonight. First, a very important thing. We must never forget this September 11th will be 25 years since the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the fourth plane headed to Washington, D.C., where courageous patriots took control of the plane and crashed it into the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. On Friday, September 11th at 6 p.m., the community of Oakland will hold a remembrance ceremony for the 25th anniversary of 9/11 in Veterans Park. All the residents and businesses are invited to attend. Afterwards, there will be refreshments available at Pond's Church. Let's never forget that day that changed America. 1 month from tonight, Friday, September 11th at 6 p.m. in Veterans Park. All are invited and welcome to please attend this important moving ceremony. Let's make it's something that never should be forgotten, and it's getting forgotten by a lot of people. So just remember, Friday, September 11th, 6 o'clock, Veterans Park. It's going to be a real nice ceremony. We're still working on it. We've had 2 meetings. We've got another 2 meetings coming up, and it's going to be good. All right, a couple other things. The sidewalk along 202 South between the cleaners and the Exxon station. All right, there's 2 white lines that used to be painted there. They're faded. All right, they used to be painted every year. There's a restaurant in that parking lot that has valet parking. The valet parking on Friday, Saturday nights, sometimes Sunday nights, sometimes Thursday nights, they park them right out to 202. Right out to the edge of 202, people walking, either they gotta weave through the cars or they walk in 202. It's amazing nobody got hit yet. All right, so I think we should go back to painting those lines and maybe enforcing no parking on the sidewalk. All right, at that place. And even if you had to get an emergency vehicle in there, you're parked on 202, you're blocking 202 with emergency vehicles. All right, 2 other things I see on the paving list is Seneca Ave. Why are we paying for Seneca Ave when Public Service ripped it up?
Mr. Coase, did we do some trading?
I think that was one of the roads that we swapped off with another road, or full curb to curb on another road, if memory serves.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, it seemed weird that Public Service came in and paved all the roads they dug up.
Right, so what we do is we do horse trading on the back end.
Fine,
So we can
fine.
get more bang for the buck.
Fine.
Yep.
All right, and then the last thing I got. All right, last meeting, there was resolution number 233 on the agenda. It was introduced by you, Mr. Mayor, and it was not brought, the motion was made and it wasn't brought forward. All right? Now,
I can't bring a resolution forward.
right, the council didn't bring it
Right,
forward.
yep.
All right, now looking at the agenda, it's for $83,500. Looking at the agenda for this meeting, it's back on as resolution 248. It's the same resolution as 233 with some word changes. Is this a new way that we do stuff here? To spend $83,500? That if it don't work, if it don't pass the first time, we keep try again after every meeting, or for the next couple of meetings, to see if it passes? I don't think that's a good way to spend taxpayer money. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next person.
Everybody, Will Lanzetti, 23 Chickasaw. I want to talk a little bit about value and what we get from savings. When I was, I sometimes have a little bit of a long commute and I think too much, but some of this sort of bothered me. $250 a year, savings per household. That's, for over the life of the contract. That's $62.50 a year. That comes out to like we're saving $1.20 with this new garbage contract. So and that also got me thinking, when my kids were little, they learned a lesson about value. When they're no, gave them some money, we took them to the dollar store. I would always say thinking like, no, we shouldn't do this. But then I'm thinking like, no, let them learn. Because some things you can't teach, they need to learn. So when they bought these toys for $1 and they broke and they cried, it didn't take them long to realize that some things are worth value and that there is a value to the dollar. So for $1.20, I was thinking maybe the mayor and council, the DPW, instead of driving around looking at people's trash bins to see if they were oversized, maybe they should have gone to the dollar store first. I mean, looking saying, oh, this one's too big, this one's just right, like some sort of garbage can Goldilocks looking around here. I mean, really. So, what is value? Like, are we getting a value from this for the service? Also knowing that a third of the town now needs to buy new cans. That's what you all said, 30% of the town needs to buy new cans. So are we getting the value for that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure we are or not. But when I also looked at it, and I'm thinking about this from a value perspective, like, people have cans of different sizes. Everyone's got a different size can. Some are oversized. Laid down the street from me, she's got huge cans. Didn't seem to bother the other garbage men. Sorry, I'm just making some fun on this for what it is. But we can take it a little further. Let's educate our kids. Let's start a web page about value, and then we can get all the cost savings, the old contract, the new contract, the interim contract, what the actual costs are. So let's put them on the page and let's outweigh them with what people spent on garbage cans initially, the ones that they're throwing out, what they're spending on new garbage cans, and what the savings are. Maybe we call it, Kids Corner with Kumala and Coons and cans. We could have you guys in like Compton regulation cans, but you can't be green. I think there's some copyright infringements there. But we could talk about that. We can give the lessons on value. And then speaking of green, let's talk about what are we doing with all these old cans? I mean, you all told them to throw them out. I mean, for Christ's sakes, plastic is the OG forever chemical. They're now in garbage bins. They're in waste. They're in landfills. Why? It just doesn't make sense to me. At the end of the day, I think what really bothers me about this more is more and more between the police not having a contract for over a year, it's like 14 months or something like that, with this garbage deal with Pompton, with the fact that it seems like we can't manage development in our town, that all we do is we bring people in to tell us what we can't do. Like, why don't we bring people in to tell us what we can? I mean, that's what we really need. At the end of the day, that sign's gonna once say, once there was trees all over this place. After, the thing by Hills, I mean, that's a debacle. It's a monstrosity. It's an abomination what they did to that piece of land, I'll be honest with you. This is a 30-foot high retaining wall. How many trees did they cut down? I cut a tree down in my yard and I have Ranger Rick from the shade tree on my ass to pay $250 to plant a new tree. Where are all the trees from there? I mean, they should be replaced, right? Unless they're considering the lumber they used to build, well, that was a tree. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, too, I want to talk, what really bothers me about this, is look, I'm all for savings and all that, but to be honest, taxes. Like, my taxes are estimated to go up 13.5%. The majority was from what this council passed. That budget increase was from my taxes gone up. I'm gonna save $62.50 a year. What am I gonna get, a Mickey D gift card? How am I gonna get that money back? I tell you, 13.5% of my taxes is a hell of a lot more than $62.50 a year. So I really lack confidence in this council, in this administration. I think people need to be held accountable. You all to me thinking, people saying out there, people at home, saying, who's this guy talking trash? Well, I'm not. I think a lot of people at home believe in what I say. They're nodding their heads. They're agreeing with me. They're saying that this town is going in the wrong direction. So I think people need to be held accountable. So I think to start, Mr. Kuntz being the mastermind of that deal, I think you should be canned. And then, come November, let's see what the voters figure out what to do with garbage.
Thank you.
Steve Panozian, Oakland. About to say my address, I can't remember.
Glenn Gray, got it.
Okay, Glenn Gray. Before I start my dissertation, I have a document that I'd like to give to Wendy.
Give us
Mr. Mayor, it's okay. I'd like this to be entered into the minutes. And then there's a lot of questions here, and I'd like to have a follow-up from the
Okay.
town on who I can sit with to go through everything.
Okay.
I do have a couple of comments and a couple of questions, so I hope I can do it under 3 minutes. I wasn't here for about a month, and I apologize if I'm bringing something up that may or may not be popular, but after the last public statement, I think it's appropriate. While I was gone, I had to make arrangements with family and neighbors to take my garbage out. And I do have a monitor cam that I can see things going on. And all I can say is my garbage and recycle pickup experience, whether it was remotely or last week and this week, has been positive. I haven't had a problem, but I must say that we're among the people, and I've lived here for 40 years, that we didn't have a problem with the container size. We complied, we just simply complied. We followed that directive or that guideline for the 40 years that we've lived here. Last week, I placed furniture and a mattress, and it followed the guideline, and it was picked up. So, I got to thank whoever. Nothing changed in our experience. And the only opinion that I have is my observation. The pickup people were young, they appeared energetic, and I went out to say hello, and they're a very respectful team. Regarding the third of the town that was frustrated with the service transition, clearly, I understand from listening to Mr. Coons, I think it was the last meeting, you explained what the objective was, and I think it went over everybody's head. Or maybe everybody understood it but didn't want to accept it, including one of the council people. A third of the town was frustrated with the service transition. Clearly, the primary objective was to save money. But I think what everybody has overlooked is that 2/3 of the town, over the last 10 years, the $30,000 average increased based on 300% increase over the last 10 years. We've been subsidizing and paying for the liberties, or whatever you want to call it, the out of compliance people or residents in our town with cans that were oversized. It's a perspective, but that's the way I look at it. I had to pay for it, and the other 2/3 of the town had to pay for that. And I got a different perspective on it that'll come up easily. The unsustainable 30% average cost a year, the past contractor, my opinion, working in a world where negotiation, even after a contract agreement, continued. This $60 per household, I believe that was the bait. That was an offer to get us to go in and now argue about, was it worth saving $60 a year? It isn't $60 a year, that was the bait. In my opinion, the switch would have been after, if we would have accepted that, we would have slowly seen over the next couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it would have crept up to double-digit increases, no different than it had for the last 10 years. I don't care what anybody says. Excuse me, I'm supposed to be directing it at you. So that is a fact that I look at. And the other simple one bidder. I don't know if that's a problem with everybody, but that's the telltale of this whole issue. So here's my questions, and this is the conclusion. I would like to know what the cost and ranking of the removal service line as an expense to the town, and if it can be translated to an average household cost per property taxpayer of that. What is the removal budget per household as a percentage of the total? So, example, if I pay $1,000 a year in taxes, and it's $50 or $60, that's 5%. I'd like to understand as a line item for the total town budget, if it's 23 million, I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is, but I want it here officially on record what it is and what percentage is the disposal service as a percentage. The second cost and ranking is of our town's budget. What is the total police line item as a ranking and a percentage of the town's annual budget? And that can be with or without health care. And I understand we treat health care a little differently, but I want to know if that's number one. I think it's the first highest one, and if the average, forget about what I think it is. I want to hear what the answer is, and if it's the number one top expense. And then where does that go? I got two additional comments. In the spirit of transparency, if it's assumed that the number one line item cost is the police expense, and it's a good chunk of change, so if I pay $10,000 in taxes and 30% goes to the town, and that's $3,000, and if $1,100 of that it goes to the police department budgeting, spending whatever it is, $85,000 a year, $83,000 a year by the total number of households. It's a couple of bucks to make sure that we have a third-party review of the way our police department operates. And I 100% support our police department. I would just like to know that everything that we have in place today, organizationally, process, procedures, before we hire anybody or install a new police chief, I think we ought to align on what's expected today and looking down the road 2, 3, 4, 5 years, so we make the right hires and put the right job descriptions or objectives that we would want to support our new police chief. And it kind of echoes what you have said, Mr. Mayor. And out of the corporate world, I've worked for 2 Asian companies, one Sony, 15 years, and Samsung, 24 years. I'm sure everybody knows they're world-class corporations. They were way ahead of the curve on many things. And I got to tell you, we always, and I always worked at senior management to help reorganization, re-engineering, and process improvement. And we always laid these things out and did reviews before we made a change so that we would then backfill all these new job recs and then also all the new processes to improve everything about the organization to meet our overall objectives. And that was to build the business and do it profitably. And then the last comment that I would make in the spirit of transparency, which is a word that I can't stand because it's so misused, but it also works both ways. Transparency in our expectation of a governing body, and I've said this to the Board of Ed as well, from Ramapo, but there needs to be transparency on the public side too. What is your motivation? What's really behind what you're doing? Are you here to ruffle feathers and stir the pot the wrong way and create issues? I think we've got a great town. There's nothing negative about it. And a past council person said it best, I think in an interview that's online, that we do great when we all work together. So in the spirit of this transparency and supporting our police department I hate like how to put one of the councilmen on the spot here, but I got a ton of other questions, but I just simply want to know, if you're 100% and you ran on supporting the police, and there's signs all around in the town supporting our police department, to support our police, why would you vote no on the contract? And I'd like to hear the reason why. And that vote no occurred at the last mayor and council meeting back in July. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr.
No clapping, right?
Good evening. My name is Phil Murphy. I'm a 40-year resident. I live at 28 Saratoga Drive. Former head coach at Indian Hills for 15 years. Been involved with a lot of things in town. In fact, I ran for council in 1992. I lost, thank God.
It gets tough at times.
And I appreciate what you guys do. I really do. I love this town. I don't plan on going anywhere. So I'm very happy here. You guys got a tough challenge. I think you guys made a big mistake. Okay? You heard two people already mention, one gentleman went online. I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I'm so angry about this issue with the garbage that you just have no idea. It has changed my life dramatically, even though it's a simple thing. I work all week. I come home. I take care of my own lawn. I take a lot of pride in my house, how it looks. It's got a flag. It's beautiful. This is what happens when you have new garbage people. They leave your cans so it burns your lawn. Nice. Okay? That never happened in all the time we had Roselli. They were amazing, okay? They changed the time they pick up the grass. The grass gets picked up on Thursday. How many of you own a pool? 2 of you, right? Yeah. When do you get it cleaned? On Monday? Tuesday? Friday. Friday. My grass sits in my cans, and I want to know which one of you guys is going to come over to my house after they've emptied it and clean them out. It is a pain in the ass. So my wife, with a great idea, she said, well, why don't you buy the plant? Now I got to buy paper bags to put my garbage in, my grass clippings in, so I can throw them out and not have to clean my garbage cans for 10 minutes on a Thursday night in the dark. The timing of their pickup is terrible. We used to have our garbage picked up by the time I left for work at 7 a.m. I go to work every day at 7 a.m. By the way, I buy and sell businesses for a living. I'm an M&A specialist. It's what I do for a living. And to save $1.4 million over 5 years is peanuts. I pay $27 a month for Netflix, and it's $6 a month for the savings that we have for a major quality of life issue. I don't know who thought about this, really thought about this issue, but I have to tell you, it was really not well thought out. Because I'm more than happy to pay $6 to have my trash picked up. I've already now had to go on a Saturday to drop off my grass clippings last Saturday. I kind of snuck in because I didn't have my decal. I'm not even sure how to get it yet. Probably can get it right there. But this is a real quality of life issue for a very small savings that does not any way compensate us. I actually spend more. I spend $8 a month for my bags, and I save $6. Where's the math in that? It's just a bad move. And somebody, please, you have to either go back to these people with this contract and say, we have to be fair about what at least our delivery of the service is. When we get pickups, if it be moved around, it sounds to me, and I haven't looked at this too deeply, but it sounds to me like Pompton Lakes got the better end of this. That they get their pickup when they want theirs, we got the scraps, or at least if we can modify this so we all share in the bad days and we have some good days. If I have to do this through Thursday stuff much longer, I'm pretty upset about it. I haven't been to a council meeting, I can't remember. But I got off my rump to come here tonight just to tell you that. And I appreciate the comments that you gentlemen made. I think there's a couple of you that made comments about this. And based on the social media on this issue, I waited 6 weeks to see what would happen. This was the last straw. So I hope you guys will take my comments and do something with them, because this has to change. It's just not a good deal for anyone. And as far as I'm concerned, the quality of life issue for Oakland, we all lost. It's too bad. You guys do a great job. This one was a loser. Thank you very much.
Eric Koch, 26 Rutgers Drive. I'm here today to tell you that I don't think there's any savings, that the old company that they picked up the day after a holiday, they're not picking up now the new company after a holiday. Also, there are more additional holidays that they are taking. So there's probably at least another 15 days in a year that we're not getting pickup. There's your savings, if not, no savings at all. So we're missing out. Number two, when they pick up garbage, I have one of those flip-top lids. All they need to do, the other company always close the lid. They leave them open, or they leave it not laying down on the floor. If it's raining that day, I gotta tip over that pail and empty out the water. That never happened before. Also, the fact with these smaller cans, if you use them, the lids are not attached. On a windy day, you gotta go chase your lid 4 or 5 houses down. The smaller pails are also round. They roll all the way down the block. That's why I bought the bigger cans. 2 years ago, I bought 2 big cans. Now, they're almost like $90 to $100 a can. I'm out that money. Now you tell me I gotta spend more. That's not right. It's also cleaner because they don't blow down even during the wind. So you're not gonna have your garbage floating down the street and the animals to eat them. Now these animals, they could just, even the birds, they fly right in because you don't have the lid, because I don't want to chase my garbage all the way down the block, and they're picking the garbage out, and the squirrels, and the raccoons. I haven't had bears, but I'm sure they're there too. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Koch.
Kathy Graff. We're talking about savings.
I'm sorry, what is your name, ma'am?
Kathy Graff. We're talking about savings, and I'm wondering who's paying for our DPW's overtime? That they're putting in so much overtime doing the other work. So where is that savings coming from? And someone said to me when I said I was coming tonight, they said they saw a garbage truck that wasn't the ones that we bought. They were going through Oakland. How do they get there and what are they doing?
What do you mean they were?
They said it wasn't the usual garbage trucks that the men are using. So they said, you know, how did that come into effect? I didn't see it myself. This is someone else.
I'm just trying to understand the question.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. But my main question is, who's paying the money for the DPW when they go out and they're doing the jobs that isn't being performed by the original contract, you know, the garbage people? Who's paying for that? And where's the savings in that? Especially in overtime.
Elizabeth Benducci. I have a couple things to say. I always have a couple things to say.
What street do you live on?
I live on Valley View Avenue.
Thank you.
Okay. My first thing has nothing to do with anything that's been talked about here. I was wondering how we are proceeding, you know, is anything proceeding with the Tanglewood property? Are we still interested? Did they sell it to somebody else? Or is that still moving forward?
No.
Perfect. Okay. At the last meeting, Mr. Coons said that he was going to be talking to Pompton about moving that rubbish day. How far have we gotten on
So
that?
we're going to let everybody
Okay.
speak, and then he's going to be able to address
Okay.
some of the questions.
My biggest complaint is the optics. As council people, I know it's not an easy job, and it's not one that I would want to do. But sometimes you seem to miss the whole boat on listening to people. For every person that's going to complain about the garbage, you're going to have somebody who has a good experience. My area of town, we have no problem. So I don't know if it's maybe a Heights area or a Manitou area, but I live off of West Oakland. We've had no issues. And as far as the lids and not lids, half the time they're in the street, half the time they're on my lawn. The lids, I can't tell you how many times the garbage men have taken them. One time they even took my whole garbage can. I had to replace it. You know, it happens. Everybody's either gonna have a good, bad experience. But at the last meeting, Matt said he was going to look into having the town use your power to see about buying garbage cans that we can purchase. That's great, except that you didn't listen to what was being asked. We're not asking for those dumbass cans. We're asking to replace something that will function. We want a 45 gallon. We want it with wheels. We want it that the lids go up and down. Not that can. That is a horrible thing. And I was really pissed off at getting the snotty emails that have come out with it. And I'm sorry, the tone on those emails, I don't know who's proofing those emails, but you really should have somebody looking at them. They're a little snotty. It's not a reminder if you've never told us. Nobody knew that the DPW was selling garbage cans. We knew about the recycle cans, but not garbage cans. I went down, I took a picture, I told them, I put it online. I shouldn't have to do that. And to then for the next day, the town to come out and say, oh, it's a reminder. It's not a reminder. You never told us. Okay? I said, spoon feed us, give us optics, give us graphics. I think we'll be happy if you just listen to what we're asking. Our website is a disaster. Half the links on that don't work. I know they said we're going to be doing something, but I was looking at a business plan that is on there from Mayor Szabo. Why? Though I have to say, I did like his vision. It looked really nice. But why is it still on the website? How many mayors ago was he? You know. Three more things, 3 quick things. This wasn't brought up here, but it was brought up at the last meeting. And again, I'm saying optics. There's been more and more of people asking for that second public session, speaking session. I don't see why it was removed. I don't see what skin off the council's nose for letting the people that come here have a second time to speak up if they have a question. Now, I do realize that at times we've had people who've questioned, you've opened it up, they've asked their question, and we've closed it again. But for many times that I've come, when that second session's around, more often than not, nobody's getting up to talk. So why remove it? Let us be happy. Give us that second session so that we feel like you're listening to us, okay? And that goes into my third thing that I'm talking about. The last meeting, that Anziotti contract went nowhere. Why is it back on the docket? It should not be there. I know we're getting a new police chief. I don't know if he's been appointed, not appointed. The town never tells us anything. I didn't even know we lost the old chief. But why not let him come in and see what's going on before we second guess and undermine what he's doing? That contract, honestly, you talk to people, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, but you're hearing that there's a taint with McCann. People don't like it. They don't like him. I think they spoke very well when voting him out. There was a lot of objection to him, and it smacks that he's behind that contract. It's a lot of money for the town to pay out for an assessment that may not be needed. Let's let the new chief come in, see what's going on. In a year from now, you'll look at it and see what's going on. And my last point. See, I made notes today. I'm with the Oakland Historical Society, and we are doing lots of programs. We have a new board. There's a lot of programs, presentations, things going on. Saturday, we will be having our membership meeting at the library downstairs. We would like to have the public come, join us, see what we're doing, see how you can help. The town will be celebrating 125 years next year. We really would like to have a nice celebration. The society is also celebrating its 60th year, and we're doing a retrospective to see how the society has served the town in those 60 years. So that's my plea. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ducey. Anybody else?
I thought I was done.
Go ahead.
Can you say my name again?
Yep.
Eric Hodge, 26 Rutgers Drive. Also, the fact I looked up garbage-sized cans on Google, and it says that a 35-gallon can is good for it's considered small, and it's good for 1 to 2 people in a household. Okay, then it leaves out between 35 and 45, but medium is 64 to 65 gallon, and that's considered mid-range or standard, and it's the option for the average family. I think we're all average families here. Not small, maybe large, but maybe not too large, but you can get another can for them if you're large. And then the large is what you described at last council meeting, where you said there was a municipal that has a lift and whatever. They're considering that 95 to 96 gallons. So that statement was, to me, wasn't correct. according to this. Also, you said that you followed the garbage trucks after or during their pickup. You ever see their recycling, where they pick up the bottles and the cans, when they dump it, and it's full, and they're ready to get that crusher, the hydraulic? They take the pails that they just emptied, both of them, and they try to hold the stuff back into the truck because the compactor would push it out. And I actually saw the garbage fall onto the ground. There's bottles in there, there's glass, and then they went and picked it up. So they're talking about safety when they reach into a pail and they might get cut. I think there's a greater chance of them getting cut when they're picking up the glass from the street, if they pick it all up.
Thank you.
I'm going for you. Go for it. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. We call it Rolling Thunder now.
You made the effort, so.
Rolling Thunder. 780 Ramapo Valley Road. Andrea Lee. Actually, I got two things. Since we don't have the second time to come up here and share, I will share from the Arts Committee just something to get out there. We do have a concert this Saturday. Yay, right? Thank you. From 3 to 8 p.m. So I do hope that the community comes out and to support, because really, if we don't get the support from the community, it's going to go away. We're not going to do it anymore. So tell your friends, tell everybody who's out there, come out to Great Oak Park. It's a fantastic place. We do really nice stuff there. There's great concerts there. People picnic and have fun, and just a nice vibe overall. So I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to come out to the outdoor market that we hold. It's not this Saturday, but we hold them about 2 to 3 times a month. And again, if we don't get the traffic coming in from town, we're not going to do it anymore. So if you guys want it, there has to be support.
Can you just talk about what kind of music's going to be this weekend?
This weekend is, I would call it Grateful Dead, Fish, and Originals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so the public
fun for
knows.
everybody. Yeah, I mean, we've had from this high to that high and every age in between, and everybody's walked away having a nice time. So, and it's really for everybody. So come on down and check it out. All right, and the market, come to the market, all different vendors, every single time, different foods. I think Councilwoman Rose was there this week, although I wasn't. I just want to encourage everybody to...
put my earrings on.
So they have jewelry too. I mean, there's really everything there. But we do need the support of the town, because these people are coming from local and abroad, and if they're not getting the business there, they're not going to come back. They're just not going to come back. And so it gets more difficult for us to recruit vendors to our market because we're not getting foot traffic. The foot traffic has been really light. And of course, I mean, listen, the weather has been kind of crappy. I mean, I'll say that. But the reality is we're not getting the foot traffic. And if we can't get that to pick up, I don't know that we'll be able to pull it off next year, because they won't come back. People won't come back because of that. They love it here. They love the people here. They think we're friendly. Like, they haven't been in here, clearly. And it's a really nice add to our town. People from outside the area come to visit Oakland. That's a benefit for us. People that come to our market go to the stores in town, and they buy gas in town and food and whatnot, not just at the market. And so we need things like this here. We need to attract people to Oakland. It's a good thing for us. It's a positive thing for us. So I would like to be able to continue this, but without the public support, it won't be. I can tell you that right out of the gate. It won't be. So that's my spiel. I apologize. Shut that off. On that note, we also are looking for volunteers for the Arts Committee. Our next meeting is next Monday, whatever date that is. It's not my brain.
17.
Thank you. At 7 p.m. at the Senior Center. And we are looking for people who would like to support the market, who would like to support the concerts that we do. And if you have something else to bring to the table, we welcome that as well. So that's my spiel on the arts. I'm going to talk garbage for a minute. Well, trash talk for a minute. I agree with everybody here. I think we made some mistakes. I think we're probably all on the same page with that. There were definitely mistakes made. I know you guys are trying to remedy it, but what I would like to know is what are you going to do to get Pompton to do what they're supposed to do? What actions are you going to take to make sure that they're taking all of the garbage out of the can and not leaving the last whatever's left at the bottom? That matters for something. That absolutely matters. They're doing a half-assed job, period, okay? And we should not accept that. We need to put our fist down in front of them and tell them that this is what we signed up for, this is what we expect, and nothing less. Who is doing that? That's what I would like to know. I know you're not going to answer me, but I'm just telling you right now. I want to know. I want to hear. I want to see you guys write an article about what's going on with the garbage and everything you're doing to fix it, okay? It shouldn't be us trying to fix it. We need you guys to fix it, whatever it takes. Bless you. And I will close on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Follow that purple wave. Hi, Marisol Kozlowski. I'm on Barnard Drive. So first of all, I want to actually echo something that both Elizabeth and Andrea said. As somebody who's been addicted to volunteering a lot in our town, all of our organizations absolutely need volunteers. Our council members are liaisons to a lot of these groups. They can testify to the fantastic job that most of these organizations and groups are doing. I am wearing an Oakland Green Team t-shirt this evening. I am no longer a member of the Green Team, but if any of you are saying, where did Styrofoam go? Where did our volunteers go? Because I was out there alongside with the mayor on many a cold morning, stuffing Styrofoam into a tank. And that's exactly what happens. If we don't have the volunteers step up and if we don't have the community support, these things do disappear. I've also been a member on the Arts Committee. They're doing a fantastic job. One of the things Andrea forgot to mention was that the Oakland Market this year will be for the first time doing an evening market in October.
Second time.
Second time, sorry, second time. You forgot it, I read it wrong. Second time, and you might see us there because we're going to be signing up. So please come out and support it. And like everyone else who's come up here speaking about trash and garbage, of course I've got to put in my 2 cents as well. In my opinion, what we've been seeing since this new company took over is a huge variation in consistency and in good support. Prior to actually signing this contract, I actually mentioned that we were going from, as someone else mentioned, we went from 5 days of no service a year to this contract having 17. That is a, what, 300% increase for your numbers, people? In less time of service. Okay, so things like that do matter. They do matter to us. Most holidays come up when? Oh, the holidays. When we have a lot of trash and want to get rid of it. That is important. I brought it up then, prior to the vote. I'm bringing it up again. What we've seen personally on my neighborhood, our trash cans are compliant. They have been compliant. We didn't get stickered. Our actual service, one day the can is half empty, one day the can is left, one day we have no problem. One day there's garbage in the street. One day there's glass in the street. On 2 different occasions right now, we have had broken glass, damage, and I'm not talking about, oh, they dropped the can in front of my driveway, so it's my tires I have to worry about. I'm talking the whole length of the street, house after house, glass, where a couple of the residents came out. We call them the boys and their toys, our dads in our neighborhood. They came out with their brooms and they cleaned up, okay? Because, and most of them, you don't see any of them here other than me, because they just do. They all have little kids. We have a number of very, very small children, new families. We adore them in our neighborhood. A couple of sets of twins. They're beautiful kids. They should be able to play in the street without having to worry about glass. My kids didn't have to worry about glass. They shouldn't have to worry about glass. It's an inconsistency. I come right off onto Franklin Avenue, and there have been a couple of mornings where I have seen more than a mile of traffic in the other direction behind a trash truck with these guys not doing a good job. And then I've seen other ones that are doing a great job. And we do our due diligence, and when I see something of grievance like the glass, we call the DPW. We were told here to call the DPW. I was sitting right here when you guys said, call the DPW. I was sitting right here when you said, they have a weight issue. You don't want them reaching into the cans. most of the times they're reaching into the cans, just so you know, at least on my neighborhood, on my block, okay? I even said something to one of the gentlemen in the morning, you know, that's really dangerous, honey, you should put it up from your back, because the kid looked, he was about 20, I'm gonna call him honey, I'm old. He then went and said, no, it's okay, I got it, and he just put it in the truck, and then I looked down and there was still another bag left. I'm like, you forgot one. Okay. This is what's happening on a regular basis. We've gone now, what, like 3 or 4 weeks at least, maybe a few more weeks? It's been inconsistent, okay? And it does actually worry me, the inconsistency of it. So like Andrea, I would like to know how you're handling it with Pompton. Is anybody from Pompton talking to these guys on the trucks? Because like I said, I've seen guys doing a great job. I've seen, you know, as you're driving around in the morning and watching them, some of them are doing fine. And then others are not, okay? And lastly, I'd just like to say thank you, because we know that you guys are working hard. We know it's a hard job. We know you're trying to do your best, okay? But I really do think that Pompton got the best of us, okay? Have a great day.
Frank Verbacher, 56 Walton Avenue. Good evening, and thank you all for your service to Oakland. I wanted to comment briefly on the proposed $83,500 police department assessment. I believe the borough should be working collaboratively with our police department and maintaining a strong, productive relationship with the officers who serve our community. I'm not opposed to an assessment simply because it's an assessment. If there are legitimate operational concerns that need to be addressed, then we should address them. But I think residents deserve to understand what problem we're trying to solve before we move forward. What specifically prompted this assessment? What has changed since this was brought before council last month and didn't receive a motion? What exactly will the consultant deliver? Will the findings and recommendations be made public? And how does this assessment differ from the accreditation and review processes the department already participates in? As a resident and as someone asking voters for the opportunity to serve on this council, I think that's the kind of information we should expect before making a decision of this magnitude. If there's a compelling case for this assessment, the ask is that you explain it publicly. We should be working constructively with our police department while making sure taxpayer dollars are spent with a clear purpose, defined outcomes, and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one quick thing. Sarah Jensen, 3rd Street, 73rd Street, Oakland. And he just stole my thunder. I don't really need to say anything. We have an outstanding police department that we all really appreciate. And if that money's burning a hole in our pocket, let's use it some way that is supportive of them. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Just have Marisol Kozlowski, Barnard Drive again. I forgot to tell you about one situation that happened with the garbage that is different than everybody else. And that situation was, we had a pre-scheduled donation prior to the garbage change for the Veterans Association. And we put out some bright yellow bags for donation that were clearly labeled Veterans Association donation. And we put Veterans Association, do not take not garbage on the bags. Garbage guys took them. We then called the DPW as per directions. The DPW then told us call the business administrator. At that point, it was my husband. Those of you who on the council who know my husband know he was not happy to get rerouted to another department. So I do apologize if he was a little hot. But, you know, that's, again, reading is fundamental, and they were bright yellow bags. They were not garbage bags. They were donation bags. So again, this is something that we need to clear up with them, and that's it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Not seeing anybody. Do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Was that Bill?
Steve.
Oh, Steve?
Yep.
All in favor?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Coons, you want to take some of those questions?
Well, I'll just give an update from, from the last meeting. And one, I know that there's been a lot of comments here tonight about individual problems people have had. And I want to thank you. We did say contact DPW. A lot of people have been contacting DPW and keep doing that, because the more information that we have of those deficiencies, of when they miss a bag or there's glass in the street or anything, it provides more information for us to go back to Pompton and bring those issues to their attention so that we can have them addressed. There was one commenter that made the point that it seems to be spotty. I think that's the sort of the assessment that I've seen as well, based on a lot of the comments. Certain routes, certain days are completely fine, no issues. Other times, well, you missed this, or there was this problem, or they didn't put the lids on. So it seems to be, rather specific to certain crews on certain days. And I know Pompton Lakes is trying to zero in on that too, in terms of their efforts to call it direct and guide their workforce appropriately. So, a lot of this stuff clearly, just from a service level perspective, is unacceptable, right? All your garbage should be picked up, your lid should be put back on your can shouldn't be left in the road, et cetera. It's sort of basic stuff. That's certainly our expectation. That's the level of service that they provide. So if you continue to have those issues, continue to report them so we can continue to bring them to Pompton Lake's attention and hold them accountable for what really the appropriate service level is for this. Okay. As to the issue with collection on Route 202, they were changing their route. I've heard, I'm not sure again how consistent that is, but I have been hearing that they've been on Route 202 earlier than they were a month ago. So I'm hopeful that that issue has been addressed. But if anybody is on 202 and they're not experiencing an early pickup, let us know about that as well. The yard waste is also something I know that people, of course, would prefer to have that earlier in the week when there's stuff there from the weekend. Pompton Lakes is not committed yet to making any changes, but they have committed to reassessing it as we get a few more months into the contract to see if there's a way for them to adjust their schedule to accommodate that. Okay, so that's not something that they've closed the door on, but I don't have any further commitment on that at this time. And I'm not sure if there's anything else you want me to touch on.
Are we still, go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
Are we still continuing to meet with Pompton on a monthly basis, weekly basis? Or how many times are we talking with Pompton about this?
I'm referring complaints. I know DPW is referring complaints. I have regular conversations with my counterpart over there. And I think that, after next week, when I'm back from vacation, we'll probably have another in-person.
Okay.
And are there people from Pompton Lakes DPW following them around, making sure they're doing what they should be doing?
Their supervisor is on the route regularly with the guys, yes.
And but it's still happening. That's the problem is, do we have people following them around, but we're still having these issues? So, to me, what's being resolved?
Right.
Great, you're following them around, but we're not getting anywhere.
I do want to bring one thing out, and understanding there's been some services against the garbage people, and they could be doing a better job. We're all in agreement with that, and we're working towards it. There have also been some cases where our residents have been a little abusive, so just any complaints, please bring them to us. Don't engage with the employees directly. We've had some examples of where some of the workers had, we'll say, heated conversations, were approached heatedly. Right, they're de-escalate. They move around. They call a supervisor, comes up. Just if you have any complaints, call us so we can deal with the supervisors. No one should be communicating with the garbage men directly. Just we're better than that as Oakland residents.
Thank you. Okay, we are up to approval of minutes. Anybody else from the council have a question? Okay. Approval of minutes. We've got July 14th, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Does anybody have any changes? Not seeing any. Roll call.
Council President Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Dumpert?
Yes.
Councilman Eilert?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Abstain?
Councilwoman Rose?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
We have July 14th, 2026 executive meeting approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Rose, do we have a second?
Second.
Who's got the second?
Bill.
Bill? Okay. Does anybody have any changes?
No.
Not seeing any? Roll call.
Council President Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Dumpert?
Yes.
Councilman Eilert?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Abstain?
Councilwoman Rose?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
All right, we have the following special announcements. We have authorized social affairs permit for the Elks, Lodge number 2167, for a poker night fundraiser in support of Life Draft Group on September 24th, 2026, from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. at 33 Airport Valley Road. We also have an authorized raffle license RL 1613 for the Indian Hills Parent Athletic Committee for a raffle on October 2nd, 2026, in support of the Indian Hills dance team at Indian Hills High School, located at 97 Yapo Avenue. And the last one we have is authorized raffle license RL 1614 for the Reed Foundation for Autism, for a raffle being held on January 12th, 2027. Okay, so just checking the date. Support of programs and services for individuals with autism at 25 Potash Road, Oakland, New Jersey. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're up to the following resolutions. At this time, I'm going to pull out Resolution 26248, which is the Azalati Group. Doesn't mean it's not going to come back again, but I'm going to pull it out for today, okay? If we're going to do this as a consent agenda, we have 26234, authorized recreation refunds, 26235, authorized rec camp counselor hires, 26236, authorized hire of crossing guards, 26237, authorized hire of SLEO 3 police officers, 26238, authorized accrued time payout for O'Keefe, 26239, Chapter 159 opioid class settlement actions, 26240, certify receipt of the 2025 annual audit, 26241, resolution approving the 2025 annual audit corrective plan prepared by the CFO in response to the findings and recommendations in the 2025 audit, 26242, authorized contract to Boswell Engineering for the drainage improvements at 39 and 41 Lakeshore Drive, 26243, safe routes to school engineering contract amendment, 26244, authorized contract phase 1 and preliminary assessment for 279 Ramapo Valley Road, 26245, right-of-way drainage improvements at 144 Manitou Avenue, 26246, authorizing change to title, text amount of appropriations pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-85, and 26247, resolution authorizing return of funds for McManus. Do I have anybody wish to pull any out?
Yeah, pull out 240, please.
240? Anybody else? With the exception of 26240, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Councilman Pignatelli, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Eiler. Roll call.
Council President Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Dumpert?
Yes.
Councilman Eilert?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rose?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
All right, we've got 26240, certified receipt of 2025 annual audit. Mr. Saliani.
I just wanted to pull that out to call out what a great job that our CFO, David Young, did, along with Borough Administrator Coons. We did review that in the Finance Committee meeting, so this will be a pseudo update on the Finance Committee. Audit results were fantastic, and I just wanted to call out what a great job that both of them did with our work last year. Just that simple.
Would you like to introduce? Approve
Sure.
that?
Motion.
Who's got the second?
Second.
Ms. Rose? Roll call on 26240.
Council President Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Dumpert?
Yes.
Councilman Eilert?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rose?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
We have no ordinance, but we do have the work session, the 2027 calendar. I know it's been provided to all the members of the governing body. This really needs to get done now because they also have to print the calendars. Does anybody, I don't know you've all had a chance to look at it. Does anybody have any comments on this at this time?
I appreciate it not falling on my birthday.
That's it? So everybody's comfortable with this to move forward? Okay, very good. Does anybody have any new business?
I have a new business, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
I want to thank Mr. Coons. I had contact with him late last week and early this week about the cyber attacks that we've seen around this country against critical infrastructure and against the water systems. It is no secret that the water system here in Oakland is an absolute piece of critical infrastructure, and should it come down, would be catastrophic for our town, our borough, our people, and our visitors. So I've asked Mr. Coons and others to kind of pull together and assess where we are, what we've done historically, and are we poised to defend against such cyber attacks, including those that are sponsored by nation states. One of the things we know about this space is that attacks like this around the country are often considered boundary probing activities, where tests will be taken, intelligence will be gathered, and then the more refined plan will come out of the boundary probe. So the adversaries, when they take down a water system like they've done around the country, and they've attacked several in New Jersey, are learning lessons. They're learning what our defensive posture looks like. They're learning what our cyber preparedness is. And at the local and municipal level, there's a lot of commentary nationwide that it's one of the things that is often overlooked. So I've asked Mr. Coons, and thank you, sir, for pulling together, and we're going to look into this deeply, and I think it's a good use of time, a good use of money, and will ultimately safeguard the borough. So I look forward to digging into that further.
Anybody else?
Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
We have a situation with somebody with the Shade Tree Committee. He wants to appeal having to pay the fine and everything. So I was going to ask both sides to come to the next meeting to discuss it.
Okay.
I just want to make sure everybody was okay with that. And
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Anything else? All right, does anybody have any old business? Not seeing any. We're up to committee liaison reports. Mr. Eilert, we'll start with you.
Oh, thanks, Mayor. Actually, Andrea basically did my whole report with the arts. They did have their market this past weekend. It was a little slow, but still had a good turnout. The next one's scheduled for the 22nd, and then like you said, the concert is this coming weekend, and it is Steve Leonard with the Funky Warlocks, and they start at 3 o'clock. And that's about it. Like I said, the only thing I really want to say is I want to apologize for the garbage fiasco that's going on. I was a part of that vote, and I have to kind of own it. Given the information that was presented to me, I thought it was going to be a good deal. Obviously not. But I just want you to know, we are working on it. We are trying to make it better. And I take it personally. So don't think that all your concerns aren't being taken seriously, because they are.
yeah, we all take it. Yeah, we're all taking it.
Like I said, I just want to apologize to everybody that it did not go the way we planned, but we're trying to make it better. All right. So that's it, Mr. Mayor. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
Okay, thank you. So for the 9/11 committee, we have a 25 memorial service. It's scheduled for Friday, September 11th at Veterans Park. Refreshments to follow at Ponds Church, and all are welcome to attend. And it should be an event that definitely people should remember. It's affected all of us, and we were all a part of it back then. Shade Tree met. The forester had issued 22 permits. 57 trees were removed, 7 to be replaced. Hazardous trees. We do have a committee that looks for hazardous trees in the area. If anyone sees a tree within the borough right-of-way that is deemed hazardous, please notify the committee so it could be addressed. There's also a discussion that was had about the tree of heaven, which is a very invasive tree that actually attracts the spotted lanternflies. So it is a tree that people should look to see, about trying to contain it, especially when it's a small tree, not like mine that got too big. So anyone interested in signing up for the Adopt a Tree program should also email the committee. This is a program that's gotten very much recognition and has been very popular. And I happen to say I love my tree in front of my yard now. So, it's a great committee. All of our committees in Oakland are wonderful, and we always could use volunteers. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councilman Saliani.
It was real quick from the fire department. The fire department for the month of July had 29 calls with a total of 184 volunteer hours. And they also partnered with the junior police for safety and academy drills over at the firehouse, and then provide refreshments to the junior police academy. and mutual aid meeting of 365 hours. And so far for mutual aid so far for August, they've had 16 calls. So again, that's another group. Every time I talk to Chief Incavilia, he's always asking, can we please, just looking for volunteers. And we had, in the last 2 meetings, we had the McDermott family join the volunteer fire department. So anyone who's interested in helping out, please consider joining the volunteer fire department. They are Monday nights. They drill every Monday night at 7:30 on Yawpo Drive. Please go in, introduce yourself if you're interested. For recreation, there was not a recreation meeting this month. Just want to say a quick thank you. Our rec summer camp is officially done, and it was a very successful camp for the summer. So it was a great job, everybody. We'd like to thank the camp staff who helped out and make it the season possible for the local families. Also want to recognize that camp director Emily Swansky, who will be stepping down this year for her years of leadership and dedication to running rec camp. We truly appreciate what she's done for our campers and families and townspeople over the last couple of years. And that was a direct quote from the rec chair, Megan Rotundo. And then for the OCC, another group looking for volunteers. OCC volunteers are needed for the telecom, the television, bulletin board, and welcome website social media committees. If you're interested in volunteering, please email occ@oakland-nj.gov and fill out a volunteer form. As a reminder, the OCC can be seen on Oakland TV Channel 77 and be watched 24/7 via the Oakland TV app in both Android and Apple devices. Just go to your local store to see that. And then the Friends of the Oakland Communications Commission is still looking for, we'll be having a first fundraising event in Oakland. And if you have time and interest, please email info@friendsofoc.org, and please consider following social media accounts and signing up for the quarterly newsletter, Voices of Oakland Communications, with their quarterly newsletter and to learn what's going on. The next Friends of Oakland Committee meeting is September 30th at 6 p.m. And the next OCC meeting will be September 14th right here in council chambers. And just to piggyback off what Councilman Howard said, everyone on this board was trying to do the best thing possible. We understand there's some hiccups, and there's going to be continued conversations going. Is it going to be the exact same service? I don't know, but we're going to do our best to get to where it was. And please hold us accountable and keep coming to meetings and having these conversations.
Thank you. Councilman Dumpert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Most meaningful updates from DPW. The fields in town, the rec fields, are being restriped to support the fall football. So that is an indication that summer is coming to an end. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. The road resurfacing, Mr. Mayor, as you indicated, is well underway with the worst condition streets being tackled first. That's one of the things before I assumed this position I wasn't aware of, but there's a rank order for the general public's edification. There's a rank order of streets in town, and they're assessed throughout the year, and those that are in the poorest condition are the ones that get resurfaced first. Are there streets that need resurfacing that don't get resurfaced? Yes, probably. But the worst streets in Oakland get tackled first until we exhaust the funds for the resurfacing program. So that was helpful, and I wanted to pass that along. While they're doing this work, while they're doing the concrete work around the storm drains, around the curbs, they're also testing for leaks so that there's no hidden leaks, which would require them to open the streets up again after it's paved. So the DPW is doing the proper steps. It may take a second or two longer to pave the streets as a result of those types of studies, but it is an exercise of due diligence. The last thing we want to do is freshly repave and then have to reopen because there are unexpected or unidentified leaks. And then the last thing is they're actively filling the potholes that still ravage our town. There's an ongoing list of potholes that need to be addressed. If you see them, if you hit them, please notify DPW. We'll put it on the list. We'll get to it as soon as possible. The more eyes and ears we have out in the community reporting these things back to us, the better, the quicker, and the faster we can address them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to echo what Councilman Eiler said. Initially, looking at the garbage contract with Pumpkin Lakes, we knew a couple of things weren't going to be the same. We thought in the long run that the savings would be beneficial to the borough. Would also allow us to comply with some of the 2% cap law that we have on expenditures. I've been in town for 52 years. I've had, with Roselli, my garbage can taken, my garbage can lid taken, garbage not taken completely, recycling not taken completely. I had a border fence that I take out when they cut the lawn. They took that. I've had to replace it. No, Roselli, not the new people, the old people, okay? So they're not completely lily white and clean either, I can tell you that. I don't complain about every little thing, but there were complaints I had about them too. The thing that really, really hurts me the most is that people have said they're going to do things to the garbage to hurt the garbage men. These are people out there making a living, okay? And you're going to do something to the garbage so that the garbage man gets hurt? That's atrocious. And let me tell you something. Who's ever done that, you better be careful what you're doing. Some things like that break the law. But for residents to do that, post slurs against people on the council, slurs against their spouse, that because of garbage you're going to do that? Harm people? Cast aspersions against our family members? We didn't do this to make your life miserable. We didn't. We thought we were doing the right thing. I believe we will address them. We might not correct every one of them, but I'm sure we will address it. We're just trying to make our finances a little bit easier to bear. Look, you go to the store, prices are up 4, 5, 6, 10%. Some of the garbage contracts were 39% higher than what we are paying now. So please, you want to come and holler at me for voting at it? Please do. Don't do something to hurt these poor people trying to make a living. It's atrocious that they did that. That's not what Oakland residents represent. And please, don't do that. That's just beyond acceptability to me. I'm sorry. I apologize for getting upset about that, but I just can't see people getting harmed for trying to do their job. From the senior center, our new Tech Tuesday clinic saw such a positive response that we're now offering it every Tuesday from 1 to 3 p.m. Meet with a volunteer to get help with your technology. I'd probably take every minute that guy's got to offer over there, such as phones, laptops, and tablets. Please make an appointment with the Senior Center by calling 201-405-7731. There's still time to RSVP for our Hot Dog Days of Summer on Thursday, August 20th at 12 p.m. The cost is $5 and can be paid by cash or check. RSVP can be made at the Senior Center. We will be hosting a presentation on Betsy Ross as part of our America 250 programming on Thursday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. There is no fee, but we do ask for your RSVP. Light refreshments will be served. If you have any questions, you can call the center. Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Piccatelli, I just want to talk about this serious issue that you brought forward. 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by the Pumpkin Lakes mayor about the fact that their employees were being threatened. It rose to the point where we had to call in the Oakland police and have a conversation with the borough administrator, myself, members of this governing body, and the mayor of Pumpkin Lakes and the DPW people. Oakland's better than that. You can yell at us till you're blue in the face. Do not make threats against any employee that's trying to do the best they can.
Charlie, thank you for bringing that forward. Councilman Talmy.
Yes, just the green team, they didn't meet this month, but really, the green team, I'm so happy when I saw your shirt. The green team is an amazing group of people. They do so much. Please volunteer. We always need help there. And in fact, we decided that when the weather permitting, we're going to meet in the community garden from now on, because we might as well get the use out of it. It's there. It's really nice. So weather permitting, we'll be meeting in the community garden. They just do so much. It's a great organization. The garbage. We're like everyone said. We're trying to do our best. $1.4 million. I don't know. That's a lot of money. You can come up here. You can tell me it's nothing. If you got $1.4 million, I'll take it. If who's ever sitting up here can save the town $1.4 million and doesn't do it, they don't belong up here. $1.4 million, and that's just this contract. Going forward, we're gonna save more because the increase won't be on the higher contract. We'll save more money. Are they doing the best job in the world? No, they're not doing the best job in the world. They're going to do the job that they can do. Can it be better? Sure, it can be better. We'll make sure that Pompton stays on their tail. We'll be on their tail, making sure that they do it. I don't know. My garbage cans, when I come home, I don't even want, when I come home, my garbage cans are like soldiers. I can't believe how good my garbage cans. I'm embarrassed by what everybody's saying. It's amazing how nice my garbage is. They've never been that good. And these are all just anecdotal things. You know, everybody's got good ones, bad ones. There's going to be a transitional process. To me, it brings it's like diapers. When I started with my family, we had Pampers. We had to have Pampers for my first kid. God forbid you had any other. I'd call you a bad parent that you wanted something other than Pampers. The second kid comes around. You know what? We got to save some money. Pampers is a lot of money. Let's try the store-bought ones. We tried the store-bought ones. Were they good as Pampers? Well, maybe not. You know, a couple accidents here, a couple accidents there. I got a rug that still was complaining about the accident that we had. But okay, we got through it. But now we saved the money on the diapers. Now, by the time we get to the third kid, all right, we're still diapers. Finally, okay, we're out of diapers. Oh, look, I'm going to save so much money. I'm going to save so much money. I'm not paying for diapers. I wish I was paying for diapers. I'm paying for college, and because I saved the money on the diapers back then, I could pay for the college. It helps, and that's the whole thing. You can't come to the meetings and complain that the taxes are high, but then when we save on the other end, you can't have it both ways. We're trying. $1.4 million. I don't. Anybody in here want $1.4 million? If you can get us $1.4 million, we'll take it. We'll take it. $1.4 million just on this one contract. All right, it's a lot of money. You could poo-poo it all you want, but it's a lot of money, and to say that it's not is ridiculous. And like I said, if you have a chance to save the town $1.4 million and you don't do it, you don't belong up here. Thank you, Senator.
That's it. All right, we are up to bills to be paid. Councilwoman.
Yes, bills to be paid is $829,541.77. So moved.
Do I have a second, Mr. Selly? Any discussion? Not seeing any. Roll call.
Council President Talamini?
Yes.
Councilman Dumbert?
Yes.
Councilman Eilert?
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rose?
Yes.
Councilman Saliani?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Councilman Pignatelli, do you have a second?
Second.
Councilman Rose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the next Borough Council meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 8th at 7 p.m. here at the Council Chambers. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Meeting adjourned.